Yeah, what's good with y'all, man? Truly be in the cut, back with y'all another video, bro. And as you can see, I got my Thunder attire on. You already know what you can tell by the title what the video's about, my nigga. Now, I wake up this morning, it's approximately 8:56 a.m. I wake up this morning and the most preposterous video pop up on my feed, my nigga. The most preposterous video pops up on my feed, my nigga. 4 reasons why the Pacers will win the NBA Finals. As you can see, it came out 3 hours ago, my nigga. 3 hours ago, folks. We gonna react to this shit. I wanna hear what this nigga says, bro. I wanna hear what game plan, what matchups this nigga says that's gonna allow these niggas to beat us, twin. Nobody is fucking with us. The yes sir shirt hard as fuck, though. I'm not gonna lie.
When these playoffs began, I don't think a single person seriously expected the Indiana Pacers to emerge as the Eastern...
Chat, comment down below if y'all niggas thought that this shit would... Didn't no one fucking think the Pacers was gonna be in the finals, folks? Nobody.
Conference Finals representative in the NBA Finals. Exactly 25 years on from their last Finals appearance, just like they did in the year 2000, the Indiana Pacers have once again defeated the New York Knicks in 6 games, punching their ticket back to the Finals. Now they sit just 4 wins shy of capturing the franchise's first NBA title, which is an amazing feat in itself. But
I'm sorry, the nigga jumper cash?
The franchise's first,
but that shit ugly as fuck. That shit gross, twin. Look at Cat. Damn, Cat. Put a hand up, little nigga.
NBA title, which is an amazing feat in itself, but how did we get here? What gives this Indiana Pacers team an actual shot at the title? Well, today I'm going to walk you through the 4 biggest reasons why I believe this team can actually win it all. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for the 4th and final reason, because it might just be the most important reason of all. But first, let's start off with reason 1, and that is the brilliance of Tyrese Halliburton. Throughout the Eastern Conference Finals.
Reason number 1 is the brilliance of Tyrese Halliburton, my nigga. Are you for real? Yo, this nigga Cat just keep getting caught off guard. I'm sorry, twin. My fault, twin.
Halliburton was everywhere. He led Indiana in threes made, steals and blocks combined, total steals, assists and rebounds, while also being second in total points scored. He did it all, yet somehow it wasn't good enough to earn him the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, which instead went to Pascal Siakam, a guy who also had a fantastic series, no doubt, and we'll get into him more deeply later. But I really felt like Halliburton was snubbed. He became just the 3rd player in NBA history to average at least 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals per game in a conference finals series, joining only Russell Westbrook and Magic Johnson. That's elite company. And while the individual accolades slipped away, there isn't any question that the chance to bring the title back to Indiana will mean far more to him than just any one individual award could ever offer. Tyrese Halliburton's full series averages were 21 points, 6 rebounds, 10.5 assists, and 2.5 steals per game.
Nah, that is a that is a nasty stat line. I'm not gonna cap to you. And the steals per game. But my nigga, we don't really turn the ball over, my nigga. We don't really turn the ball over, my nigga. So it's like,
Numbers that speak volumes to his production. But it was one specific performance that really stood out in this series. His monstrous Game 4. In that game, Halliburton exploded for 30...
That's a crazy ass stat line too. What the fuck? 32, nigga, whoa. Whoa.
2 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, and 4 steals, doing it all on 48% shooting. And better yet, he did not commit a single turnover. That's right, 15 assists, not one giveaway. These are the kinds of performances that don't just win games, they completely define series. The Knicks, for all their effort, could not get out of their own way. Even with one less turnover here or there, things could have shifted in this series. But for Indiana, they thrived on these small margins, protecting the ball, hitting their free throws, and executing smart plays down the stretch. And of course, Tyrese Halliburton was at the heart of everything that was working for Indiana. What
Come on, bro.
makes him so special is how the entire Pacers offense flows through him. It's built to run. And even when teams know what's coming, those leak outs, those early transition attacks, Halliburton continues to find his teammates with pinpoint passes, the types of dimes that only a handful of players have ever been able to make, especially at the rate that he makes them. That's game 4 performance, man.
I ain't gonna lie, he is making this nigga a nasty little hoop mixtape. This nigga do look cold as shit in this mixtape. Tyrese is nice. He's nice. But he's not fucking with us, my nigga.
Him just the 3rd player in the history of the NBA to record at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists, all in a single playoff game, joining just Oscar Robertson, who did it twice, and Nikola Jokic, who did it once.
Damn.
Then, when it came time to close the door, Halliburton was able to deliver again. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 13 assists, 3 steals and a block on 53% shooting in Game 6. What was the most impressive part about that 53% shooting in Game 6? What was the most impressive part about that Game 6 performance was how it wasn't just the numbers. It was how he overcame adversity. Early on, the Knicks had adjusted their defensive strategy, pressuring Halliburton much higher and trying to disrupt him before he could get comfortable. And for a while, it seemed to work, but great players always figure it out. Halliburton stayed composed, and when he absolutely had to, he took over this game in the 4th quarter, making 5 field goals in the final term. One of those, a 33-foot bomb that served as the ultimate dagger, ending New York's season. That ability to stay calm under pressure, to never be rattled when the ball is in his hands, is exactly what Indiana needs as they now prepare for a massive test coming in the NBA Finals against one of the best defenses the NBA has ever seen.
Yeah, we gonna see what he do, my nigga.
Now, the second reason why I genuinely believe the Indiana Pacers have a shot at the championship is because of the elite level play from Pascal Siakam.
Did he call this nigga Spicy P Perfection? Yo, that level of glaze is ridiculous. Spicy P Perfection? My nigga, are you dead ass? Grown ass man type that out.
The elite level play from Pascal Siakam. Now, while I personally don't believe he should have taken home that conference finals MVP, there's absolutely no denying that Siakam had a phenomenal series himself.
That nigga was getting buckets.
24.8 points per game, along with 5 rebounds and 1.3 steals, doing it all on an ultra-efficient 52% from the field and a blistering 50% from beyond the arc.
Off glass
time
is
and
tough.
time again, when Indiana needed someone to step up and take on that scoring burden, especially while Halliburton
Give me that shit,
was
little
focused
nigga.
on orchestrating the offense. It was Siakam who stepped up and delivered.
Fuck is they
What's
talking
been
about?
so impressive is how seamlessly he slotted into this team. Don't get me wrong, Siakam was incredibly impactful last season as well, as he was a huge reason as to why
These
they
do
made
look
the
like
conference
simple
finals
buckets.
that year as well. But now that he's had a full off season, to
Oh
gel
my
with
God.
the team and to
Nigga, whoa. Whoa. He just cooked the fuck out of Cat. Jesus.
really understand.
Whoa. Why was that not on the one highlights?
It was a huge reason as to why they made the conference finals that year as well. But now that he's had a full off-season
Oh my
to gel
goodness.
with the team and to really understand Rick
Jesus.
Carlisle's system, we're seeing a completely elevated version of Pascal Siakam. He's been locked in all season long, making the All-Star team, as his mixture of mentality and physicality have been awesome for this young team. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's become Indiana's ultimate Swiss Army knife. Whether it's switching defensively onto the opponent's toughest matchups or leading the team in scoring on the other end, even doing both at the same time. His constant energy, tenacity, and poise are now completely baked into the Pacers' identity. They just do not function the same without him. He's that important to the foundation of what this team is. In that Game 6 closeout, for example, I honestly don't know where Indiana would have been without his offense. Siakam finished that game with 31 points on 56% shooting, along with a steal and 3 blocks. And so much of that production came when they absolutely had to have it. The Knicks, to their credit, came out locked in defensively, clamping everyone down, except for Pascal Siakam, as he just kept answering the call, hitting tough shot after tough shot, keeping the Pacers afloat. That stretch at the beginning of the third quarter stands out so clearly.
Hey, that nigga was
after
ball.
3.5 minutes of the second half, he was the only Indiana Pacer in double digits, while already having 8 points in that third term. He quite literally carried this team offensively.
Yo, he's giving Cat
The
buckets.
performance that probably settled the MVP award for him in the series was
He giving
arguably
niggas
the best playoff
buckets.
performance of his entire career. Siakam poured on
Oh my
31
goodness.
points with 5 rebounds and a steal, doing it all on a ridiculous 73% true shooting. That game was monstrous, giving the Pacers a 2-0 lead before even heading home. And looking back, it's clear that Game 2 was where the tide of the series ultimately turned in Indiana's favor. What makes Pascal so difficult to deal with, especially when he's rolling, is how unguardable he becomes due to his size and length. Similar to Kevin Durant, his height makes his shots incredibly difficult to contest.
This
But
nigga
he
is
goes
kinda
about
like
his
a KD.
mid-range scoring in a completely different way. KD's more of a pull-up maestro, but Pascal Siakam loves to work from the low or mid-post, using his
Oh my
signature
goodness.
spin moves
That's
and
tough.
those silky fadeaways to create the separation needed. And when he's got that touch going, hitting a couple of buckets in a row, there's basically nothing a defense can do about it. He just gets to his spots and he knows he's going to score, and that is especially important when Indiana's fast break offense slows down a little bit and they can get the ball into his hands to generate a bucket when they absolutely have to have it. The total package of the physical tools, refined skill, and willingness to do the dirty work on both ends has made him completely
torching these niggas,
indispensable
bro.
to this team. Night in and night out.
I haven't
he
seen the
delivered
same
the
clip
kind of
twice,
two-way
not
impact
once.
that
Oh my
championship
goodness.
teams are built upon. And frankly, I don't know if the Pacers would have survived this series if it wasn't for his scoring punch, especially in those tight grinding stretches where buckets became
my
just
gosh.
so difficult to get. Siakam's
Yo, he
ability
is
to
giving
anchor them
Cat
in these
problems.
moments and really lead this team by
Knockdown.
example on the floor using his championship
This is-
experience as a guide puts them just 4 wins away from making history. The third reason why I truly believe this Indiana Pacers
Okay, he's finna say reason number 3. I'm not gonna lie. After that little hoop mixtape you just put together, that nigga do look like a little problem. I'm trying to put scenarios in my head. It's like, okay, I'm putting situations in my head, my nigga. I'm like, shit. Who finna guard that nigga, man? That nigga big as fuck. I'm really trying to think, bro. We could put Chet on him. We got Chet on him. We got Hart on Turner. I'm gonna put Dort on Tyrese. That's 06. Damn, boy, I'm fried, boy. That first blunt of the day smack you crazy, boy.
team are a legitimate threat at the title is because of the outstanding contributions they received from their role guys all throughout the series. So many of these role players stepped up in the moment, constantly doing exactly what was asked of them, and in doing so, they helped to elevate Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam to new heights. These weren't just guys filling in minutes. Everybody coming off that Pacers bench were real game changers. Guys like Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, and Miles Turner.
That is true. I'm not gonna lie. That first game, Aaron Nesmith went stupid. I watching that shit live. I'm like, God damn, this nigga cannot miss. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Aaron Nesmith highlights game 1 versus the Knicks. That nigga went ballistics.
But also the bench mob featuring TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, and Obi Toppin were really impactful as well. Each of these guys had their big moments and big performances that helped Indiana to keep the scoreboard ticking over when it mattered the most. Let's start off with Miles Turner. He's the longest tenured Pacer and in many ways the heartbeat of this team. He's been with Indiana for a third of his life, and you can just feel his presence on the court.
Whoa, that nigga traveled too crazy. I gotta run that back.
Anna for a third of his life, and you
1, 2. Did he dribble again?
Feel him.
Oh hell no! This nigga double dribble
of this team. He's been with Indiana for a third of his life, and you can just feel his presence on the court, not just through his shot.
What the fuck was that?
Blocking or three-point shooting, but through his leadership and poise. In the first half of Game 6, when it really felt like a slugfest of a battle for the first time in this series, as credit to New York, they successfully slowed down Indiana's transition game in that first half, but it was Miles Turner who kept the Pacers in it. While Siakam was also carrying the scoring load, Turner made timely shot after timely shot early as well, including some massive threes to keep Indiana from falling behind.
Off the glass, okay.
Story of the whole series, playing his role to perfection, both as a rim protector and a stretch big who spaces the floor seamlessly for Halliburton to be able to get in those driving lanes and find his guys. Then there's the duo of Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith, both of whom were tasked with defending Jalen Brunson. Nesmith's game 1 was unforgettable.
This one I'm talking about, Chad.
6 threes in just 5 minutes to bring Indiana
6 threes in 5 minutes. He was striking these niggas
back from the dead, where they would then go on to
Josh Hart was sick. Knocked down.
One of the most wild
who left this young nigga open?
Stretches we're ever going to
Someone
see.
better
But
step
later in
up.
the series, he
Dickhead.
started to deal with some limitations due to an ankle injury sustained.
Oh yeah,
in
swing
game
1 more.
And although
Let's knock
he
down.
still made his presence felt on both ends of the floor, he simply appeared to be less mobile, and that opened the door for Andrew Nembhard to take the baton on defending Brunson, and he ran with it. Andrew Nembhard in Game 6 put on a defensive masterclass, holding Brunson to just 19 points on 44% shooting while forcing 5 turnovers. Andrew Nembhard would finish the game with 6 steals, the most any player has had in a single playoff game this entire postseason. What makes Nembhard so effective is that he's incredibly tough to knock off balance. He's shorter, more compact, and physical, constantly staying in a
You're saying he's tough to knock off balance? I bet Shea get 40 off this nigga off straight bump fades and free throws. You wanna know why he's gonna get the free throws? Cause he can't guard him.
Airspace and never letting them breathe. Brunson, usually unshakable, looked visibly frustrated by the end of this series thanks to Nembhard's relentless pressure. Then the center of their bench unit is TJ McConnell, the ultimate change of pace weapon. Just when you think Halliburton's going to the bench and things might be slowing down for Indiana, McConnell checks in and the pace somehow increases.
That
His
nigga
shot making in the mid-range
quick as shit,
borderline
fast.
unfair, especially for a player of his stature. stature. And the way he finishes around the basket, always around bigger defenders, is genuinely remarkable. He's constantly driving and kicking, keeping Indiana's ball movement alive, even when the stars are off the floor, allowing the bench unit to be really effective. Even though his three-point shooting has never been a strength in his career, when the New York Knicks dared him to take threes, he made them pay. But even when he's not making those shots from downtown, he's still able to beat guys off the dribble, get to his pull-ups, work off of screens, or find the open shooters.
That little pull-up so funny, bro. Look at that hoe. Not down, bitch.
It's one of the biggest strengths
okay,
for Indiana.
TJ.
What makes the Pacers so dangerous is how even on off nights where Halliburton or Siakam just aren't at their best, they can still win games pretty comfortably because of their bench. These guys are not just passengers. They've proven to be engines in their own right, capable of changing and dictating full playoff games, shifting the momentum and forcing opponents to adjust. That's the kind of depth and buy-in across the entire roster that makes this Pacers team so difficult to pull away from, and it's a huge reason why they are.
He only brought up 3 different niggas. And 2 of them are starters. What the fuck?
Now just 4 wins away from bringing a title to Indiana for the first time in franchise history. The 4th, and in my opinion, the biggest reason why the Indiana Pacers have a real chance to win the championship is the...
Never say die, nigga. Are you serious, fool? And you put Tyrese on there twice. You couldn't put the coach or something on that? Like, come on, big bro. Never say die. That's your 4th and final reason? Let's hear it, bro.
Attitude of this team. This is a team that just never says die. They fight, they scrap, and no matter the score or how much time is left, you truly have not beaten Indiana until that final buzzer sounds. Time and time again, they've pulled off some of the most wild, the most statistically improbable comebacks we've ever seen.
I ain't gonna lie, them niggas do be coming back like a motherfucker though. No bullshit.
All in the space of one playoff run. The most recent example, Game 1 against the Knicks in MSG. ESPN's win probability chart tells you everything. With just 34 seconds to go, it still sat at a 95% chance for the Knicks to win. But then the Pacers happened. They closed the game on an insane 20-6 run. Each possession more surreal than the last, with Aaron Nesmith catching fire, as it truly felt like something out of a movie, all capped off by the ridiculous bounce shot from Halliburton, taking the game into overtime where they then handled business. But the craziest part of all of this is how it isn't new to them. Go back to Game 2 against Cleveland. The Cavaliers had a 96% chance to win the game with 57 seconds to go, up by 7. That's usually game over. But again, Indiana didn't blink. Nesmith had a massive putback dunk off a free throw.
Damn! Whoa, nigga! Whoa! Whoa! Where the fuck did nigga come from?
Didn't blink. Nesmith had a massive putback dunk off a free throw,
damn.
and then Halliburton, in a moment of pure hustle, pulled down his own offensive board off a missed free throw, then was able to step back and drill the game.
My God.
That's a play born out of belief.
Damn.
Out of sheer willpower. And for people who still think that these comebacks were flukes, let's go back even further to Game 5 against the Bucks. Overtime, Indiana's down 7 with 39 seconds to go, and somehow they win that as well. An 8-0 run out of nowhere to close the series in absolutely shocking fashion. That is 3 separate games in this postseason alone, where Indiana turned near certain losses into jaw-dropping wins. Not just comebacks, statistically absurd comebacks. Ones that should have been impossible, but they weren't.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know they was coming back like that and did it that many times, my nigga. I just seen the one.
And all three of them point to one thing: this team's unshakable trust in each other, their complete belief in Rick Carlisle's system, and a mental toughness that you just don't see in many teams, let alone a team this young. Their togetherness is truly special, and that is what makes this finals matchup against OKC so compelling. It's two of the youngest, hungriest, most high-energy teams in the NBA going head-to-head. On one side, you've got one of the greatest offensive systems in the history of the league, and on the other, you've got one of the most disciplined, versatile defenses in recent memory, one that can absolutely bury you off the turnover. That's what makes it so interesting. Both teams love to run, love to force turnovers, and love to get themselves going out on the fast break. It is going to be an all-out war, and if Indiana's attitude and belief continue to show up like it has all postseason, then I would not be surprised if this team really does end up finishing the job. In the coming days, I'm releasing my full NBA Finals prediction between the Pacers and the Thunder, but in the meantime, you can check out my full video
Nah, I
on
ain't
the
checking
four
out
reasons.
nothing else, twin. No disrespect, my nigga. But your shits was not valid. My nigga, look at your 4 reasons why. I was trying to hear you out, twin. Hold up, I gotta find it. Look at your 4. So his reasons was Tyrese Halliburton, Spicy P, hella sus. He said their other players are stepping up, their role players. 2 out of 3 of the niggas he named were starters. What about your bench, buddy? And then his last one was never say die. That ain't good enough for me, twin. I ain't gonna lie to you. Thunder and 5. Easy, folks.